Love your channel.
Oh, thank you. If you're still pressing your face up against the camera to compose your shot, you're doing it wrong, and I'll prove it to you. This has been one of the most impactful changes I've made to my photography, and that's taking the camera away from my face, using the rear screen. I will show you how it will open up a world of composition, improve your shots, improve your stability, give you longer shutter speeds, lower ISO, cleaner images, and I'll bust all those myths that you know about the viewfinder.
Do you know where the with image zooms near here?
Yeah, it's one more. First, viewfinders used to make a lot of sense. If you learned in the film era, you were probably on a 35mm camera that probably had a viewfinder as the only way to compose the shot. Or maybe you learned in the DSLR era where focusing with the rear screen was terrible, if it existed at all. If you wanted decent autofocus, you had to use the viewfinder. But things have changed. The rear screen on modern mirrorless cameras gives you the exact same autofocus that you get with the viewfinder. All those limitations are gone. So here are 4 reasons to use the rear screen instead of the viewfinder. Number 1, using the rear screen improves your composition. When you hold the camera up to your eye, you get tunnel vision. You no longer see anything at all around you. And that means that little things outside of the frame that might improve the storytelling are invisible to you. People who use rangefinders understand this. Like old Leicas, that's part of their charm, because when you look through those viewfinders, you do see some of the surroundings around your frame. But in these cameras, you only see what the lens sees, and you might be missing something important. When you flip the screen out here, you have a sense for the environment because you are taking in both what your camera's seeing and everything around you. When you're holding the camera like this, you're also much more likely to move the camera up or down to improve the angle of your shot. You know, if you're taking a picture of a kid or a pet, it's important to get down really low for them. This is a lot easier than crouching down like this and using the viewfinder. And as a result, I find when I'm using a viewfinder, almost all of my shots are taken from eye level. It's a bit of a problem because I'm 6'1", and that means I'm looking down on most people. And yeah, I've been known to crouch down or even get down on the ground, but I'm less likely to do that. I'm sometimes unconsciously sacrificing the optimal composition. If most of your shots are at eye level, take a break. Use the rear viewfinder. Reason number 2, you're more engaged with your subject. Do you think this is more engaging, or would you like to watch a whole YouTube video where I'm like this? Of course, you're more engaged with the subject when they can make eye contact with you. This is incredibly powerful with portraiture. There's no way to quantify the feeling that your subject has when they can see your eyes, but that helps you direct them. They will mirror your expression. If you're happy and smiling, well, they're a lot more likely to take that in and mirror it back at you when you have the camera down like this than when it's up to your eye. In the case of street photography, where you're taking pictures of subjects who don't know you, this, with a nice smile, is a lot less intimidating than this, where somebody can't even see your face and they don't know who you are. I promise, holding the camera out and working with the rear screen will get you better street shots. What's your name?
Sharon.
Sharon, I'm Tony.
Yep.
Okay, that's fire. Okay, pretty good.
Thank you.
Sure, anytime. Take it easy. Reason number 3, there's this old myth that holding the camera to your eye makes your shots more stable. I decided to test this, and what I found is that holding the camera out like this, with the strap around your neck, with your hands relaxed, that gives you about a full stop more stability. In low light conditions, that will take you from ISO 800 to ISO 400. That one stop improvement is about the same as going from APS-C to full frame. It's more than going from full frame to medium format. So yeah, that's a huge jump in your image quality in low light conditions. And it also gives you more creative flexibility. You can run the shutter full stop slower, showing more movement in your shots, producing more compelling images. So why wouldn't you do that? If you don't believe me, test it for yourself. Reason number 4 is safety. When you have your camera up to your eye, you're not taking in your environment. Increasingly, photographers are the target of camera theft. Camera manufacturers won't give us anti-theft like smartphone and car manufacturers have. So we have to take it upon ourselves to keep an eye open. So do yourself a favor, hold the camera away from your face, and keep a better eye on your surroundings, on your periphery. That can do a lot to reduce your risk of theft. But there's also like physical safety. I was shooting with the viewfinder the other day, and I took a step back and I tripped over a dog. And I very well could have hurt the dog. I could have fallen and hurt myself. I could have broken my camera as part of the fall because I don't have any periphery. When you have the camera up to your eye, you suffer from severe tunnel vision. Yes, it tunes you into what's in the viewfinder a little more precisely, but that's not really a good thing. Now, there are exceptions. There are plenty of times when it's still very valid to hold the camera up to your eye. Like just about all the Canon, Nikon, Fuji, Sony cameras, they have pretty terrible rear screens that pretty much get completely washed out in the sun. Using the viewfinder blocks the sun out so you can actually see what you're doing even in bright light. I would like camera manufacturers to fix that by just giving us brighter screens so we can take advantage of all these benefits. Hasselblad does that, but until the other camera manufacturers catch up, I get in bright sun you might have to use the viewfinder. Another valid reason is with long telephoto lenses, shooting sports or wildlife or something. It's next to impossible to track a moving subject like this. It's so much more easier to find and frame a subject when the lens is directly lined up with your eye. That's just a matter of physics and human nature. And finally, a lot of you have vision problems. You're farsighted. You can't easily see things up close. Now, some of you have incurable eye problems. I get that. But a lot of you, you're just over 42 and you refuse to wear eyeglasses or bifocals, and thus your viewfinder has a diopter where you can dial in a glasses adjustment, and that means you can see through the viewfinder, but you can't necessarily read it here. Here's a challenge for you. Don't get defensive just so you can keep doing things the way you've always been doing them. Try this for a week. Don't use the viewfinder. In fact, take a piece of tape and cover it up so you don't forget, and just see how it changes your photography. And in the comments down below, I'd like to hear your experiences, one way or another, how working away from the viewfinder has helped you or maybe hurt you. Finally, subscribe to see lots more photography tutorials, camera reviews, and the latest photo news. Bye.